Good evening, Honorable Court. My name is Santiago de la Torre, and I feel honored to be able to represent the Republic of Dominica at this honorable jurisdiction. At this time, I'm going to present my arguments as an applicant to how, in first place, the actions of a multicorp are attributable to Kingdom of Nebraska, and therefore the Kingdom is responsible to the violation of uh, international law. And secondly, I will show how the Republic of Dominica has not violated the international law by imposing economic sanctions to the island. First of all, I would like to make it clear how the commissions that the Kingdom of Nebraska has committed by allowing a multinational with the support of a terrorist group to let our fellow citizens, especially children, have been victims of trafficking and exploitation by this group, represents a clear violation of use collisions and specifically the Convention of Suppression of Human Trafficking and Exploitation approved the December 2, 1949 by the United Nations and which being peremptory norms for all states that are binding because the slavery is recognized as forbidden and as several crimes against the humanity. Everester alleges that these actions occur without its knowledge and that it is not responsible for the barbaric acts that its terrorist group and the multinational carried out within its territory, but nevertheless, according to the Article 4 of Arsigua, any action or omission of the government or its agents is considered an act of responsibility of the state and in its case by omission, and you may be wondering, but what do the state have to do with this matter? What's the relation? Everest has not only allowed a terrorist group to illegally exercise actions against our state, but also failed in its duty to protect the population close to its borders of what is within this country, protecting them and welcoming them within its jurisdiction. But it left them to their fate and in the worst conditions, denigrating the human dignity of our population and our children. In the same way, it is coincidental that we do not recognize the independence of Nebraska, and in the same way declare illegal under our jurisdiction the actions of this group which seek full independence. Uh, According to them, we will consider they will consider a tyrannic dictatorship that does not take into account that the needs of the residents of that island have been protected under state protection, reflected in this multinational, which not only the state has commercial agreements, but also this company, by financing this group, it seems was looking for the same interest of the state that it has. The government of that kingdom showing their effective control over chapters on the part of Ebraster, which according to the Article 8 of Arsigua, there is an action by a private actor but under the influence of another state and that is recognized in the case of Nicaragua against the United States, illicit financing, that this case comes from a multinational but with the approval of that government. In conclusion, we can see how the actions, or in this case, rather omissions of Ebraster regarding the illicit actions of this terrorist group, that for the reasons already explained, since to the accordance with the state to financing, the multinational has committed serious violations toward human rights against our population, adding also that is not recognizing their independence they have used violent tactics against our people, thus constituting crimes against humanity, which is why we request the court to take intrinsic measures against Nebraska, taking the case. This honorable court takes us directly to the second point of this intervention, that it was that aggressive and offensive behavior against our population has led us to make this difficult decision to impose economic sanctions on the island, but as a form of protection against both the attacks and a measure to safeguard our fellow citizens because the legal access between Brazil have not been guaranteed and we have only shown that it continues to be used systematically against the human rights to our population. I remind this court that we under the Article 51 of the Charter 7 to the United Nations Charter We are making our legitimate use of the defense that it was also contained in the Article 2, Paragraph 4 on the same Charter, allowing us to take these actions, which we will consider proportional in light of the facts that have been committed. Through negotiations, we consider first categorically sanction to a terrorist group known as the Shepherds and prosecuting under their jurisdiction or under ours. In the same way, measures have been invited to take legal actions against the multinational due to the crimes already incited against our population, considering the case of Barcelona Traction, where it is stipulated that the company where it was established is governed under the effective nationality of a state in which it is located, in this case of Hebraster, since Auto was established with the capital from the neighboring country of Nueva Venta. Finally, it was established within Embracers, concluding the Honorable Court that Dominica has not violated international law, since we have been governed by each and every one of the rules that have been established for this type of situation, and we are responding in a proportional manner to the attacks that it will have occurred. They have done towards us with the will of live that as soon as we stop sponsoring the acts against our integrity, the Republic of Dominica took down these economic sanctions. Thank you very much.
Hello. So I am here in representing the kingdom of Embraster. I am the respondent. So I am going to present my case. So first of all, we have to have in mind that this is a case that presumably we are being accused of attacking a military campament of Dominica. So this is a crime of war, not a crime of violation of human rights, and this is why we are not. This is why we are not accepting the payment of damages, because in a war we are like indiscriminately. There are going to be deaths. There are going to be killings. But because it's a war, it's a war between two states. Yes. So it's inevitably it's going to happen. So we are not accepting that, but we are accepting the responsibility. Another thing that we have to say is that the state of Nebraska did like it recognized partially in the International Court of Justice that they did wrong, that they did a damage, but they are in disposition of doing a repair to the victims. And the president of Nebraska did a public recognizement about what happened between the two countries. And he did, and what happened, he did a recognition about the survivors. And additionally, it was also presented in a text that we were recognizing what happened, and that we were recognizing that we had damaged the victims, and that we needed to make a repair. In the state of Nebraska, taking into account it's taking into account its will to make a reivindication, because it's a right of the victims. And there is a recognition of their responsibility because of the international violation of the lives and another rights and also other rights. Uh, so yeah, this is what basically it's going to happen. Uh, and we also need to have in mind that the that Nebraska will that the state of Nebraska will will make an apology for that, and with respect to the victims, uh, if as I mentioned before, as we did a recognition of responsibility of international responsibility, the state of Nebraska will continue to work in making sure that the truth comes out of what happens, uh, and identify accurately what happened, the problem, and guarantee the access of justice. In the text that we made the attention, the necessity that in the inform that we are going to do the case of confirm of the victims. And another important thing is that there needs to be proof of what happens, because they they accused us, but they don't have enough proof to evident that to show that. Thank you.